Greetings, everyone. I am Zaid, and I truly hope that all of you are safe, well, and surrounded by goodness. Today, we are going to explore a fascinating artifact that has puzzled historians, scientists, and archaeologists alike, the Antikythera Mechanism. This is not just any ancient discovery. It is widely regarded as the world's very first analog computer. Yes, an ancient device, capable of predicting celestial movements with stunning accuracy. It shows us that over 2,000 years ago, people possessed scientific knowledge far ahead of what many once believed. The Antikythera Mechanism was discovered in 1901 near the Greek island of Antikythera after a shipwreck was found by sponge divers. Among the treasure of bronze statues and other artifacts, there were fragments of a strange, corroded object. At first glance, it seemed like just another piece of metal, but careful research revealed that it contained gears, inscriptions, and engineering techniques that should not have existed at that point in human history. Scientists later realized that this mechanism was designed to calculate positions of the sun, the moon, and even eclipses. Imagine this, a box-sized device with the more than 30 intricate bronze gears all working together to track astronomical cycles. It could even predict the timing of the ancient Olympic Games. The sheer complexity of the mechanism led many to call it the world's first computer. Now, before we move to more details, I want to pause and say this clearly. This channel is user-friendly, no offensive content, no misinformation. We explain things with respect, curiosity, and authenticity. This foundation is important because when discussing an artifact as mysterious and significant as the Antikythera Mechanism, we want clarity and truth, not exaggeration. So in this journey, we will carefully uncover how this device worked, why it was so advanced, and what it tells us about the brilliant scientific minds of ancient Greece. The Antikythera Mechanism has always stood as a reminder that human knowledge is not a straight line. Civilizations rise, they innovate, and sometimes their inventions get lost in time. Let's break down why this device is so extraordinary. The mechanism was housed in a wooden box about the size of a shoebox. Inside, there were bronze gears, some as fine and precise as those in modern watches. Through careful turning of a handle, the gears rotated, moving dials and pointers. On the outer surface, these dials displayed the phases of the moon, the movement of the sun through the zodiac, and even the occurrence of eclipses. One dial, called the Metonic cycle, tracked a period of 19 years, which is the time it takes for lunar phases to repeat on the same days of the solar year. Another dial, known as the Saros cycle, predicted eclipses with a precision that astonishes scientists even today. In fact, modern research shows that the predictions of eclipses were accurate to within a few hours. What makes this incredible is not just the technical precision, but the sheer imagination behind it. This was built over 2,000 years ago, likely between 150 and 100 BCE. It reveals that Greek engineers and astronomers understood planetary cycles, mechanical engineering, and mathematical models at a level comparable to Renaissance science. But it happened centuries earlier. The inscriptions carved onto the mechanism also add to its mystery. Over 2,000 characters of Greek text have been studied using X-ray technology. These inscriptions served as instructions, explaining what the device displayed and how it worked. They mention lunar anomalies, the color of eclipses, and even detailed astronomical terminology. Researchers believe that this device was not meant as a toy or just an experiment. It was an advanced teaching tool, a calendar, and perhaps even a way for ancient astronomers to impress leaders with predictions of the skies. In short, it represented knowledge, power, and prestige. Think of it this way. For the ancient Greeks, understanding the heavens was not only about science, it was also tied to navigation, religious festivals, and agricultural cycles. To control time and predict celestial events was to control the rhythm of society itself. When scientists first studied the fragments of the Antikythera Mechanism, they did not fully realize how advanced it was. For decades, many assumed it was just a decorative object. But starting in the mid-20th century, with improvements in imaging technology, everything changed. In the 1970s, physicist Derek de Solla Price published groundbreaking research. He carefully reconstructed how the gears might have fit together. Price concluded that this was a precise astronomical calculator, far beyond anything else known from the ancient world. His findings shocked historians. Later, in the early 2000s, a major leap came with the use of X-ray computed tomography, basically 3D scanning. Researchers were able to see inside the corroded fragments without damaging them. This revealed hidden inscriptions and gear structures that had never been visible before. The results were breathtaking. The scans showed that the mechanism originally had at least 30 bronze gears, carefully cut by hand, with tooth sizes smaller than a millimeter. The craftsmanship was equal to the work of fine mechanical engineers from the 18th century, yet this was built more than 2 millennia earlier. The mystery, however, goes deeper, because the Antikythera Mechanism was discovered in a shipwreck. We do not know who built it, who owned it, or why it was lost at sea. Some scholars suggest it may have been crafted in the workshops of Rhodes, a Greek island famous for its astronomers and engineers. Others believe it could have been influenced by the school of Archimedes, though the device dates after his lifetime. No matter its exact origin, the Antikythera Mechanism proves that ancient scientists were experimenting with highly complex technology. And yet, here is the most fascinating part. No other device like it has ever been found. From the ancient world, it stands completely alone, a unique piece of engineering genius. This has led some researchers to suggest that the mechanism was not unique in its own time. Perhaps there were others, built for wealthy patrons or scholarly institutions, that simply did not survive. Bronze was often melted down and reused, so most ancient machines would not have lasted through the centuries. The Antikythera Mechanism survived by accident, hidden beneath the sea for nearly 2,000 years, protected by the wreck that carried it down. To understand the Antikythera Mechanism is to appreciate how knowledge can be forgotten and rediscovered. For centuries after its creation, humanity did not build anything remotely as advanced. The level of gear precision would not appear again until the mechanical clocks of medieval Europe over 1,000 years later. This raises a powerful question. How much ancient knowledge has been lost to history? The mechanism also challenges our assumptions about ancient societies. We often imagine that technological revolutions only happen in modern times, but discoveries like this prove otherwise. The Greeks of antiquity were experimenting with concepts of mechanics, astronomy, and mathematics that shaped the very foundation of science. What makes the story even more compelling is the human element. Picture the skilled craftsman delicately cutting bronze gears with tools of their era. Picture the astronomer turning the handle to predict when an eclipse would darken the sky. Picture the sailors transporting this device across the Aegean Sea, only for the ship to sink in a violent storm If not for chance, we may never have known that such a marvel existed. And even today, scholars continue to debate whether the Antikythera Mechanism was part of a broader tradition or a singular masterpiece. New research is ongoing as computer modeling and high-resolution scanning allow scientists to build reconstructions closer and closer to the original design. All of this reminds us that history is alive. It speaks to us through fragments, through mysteries, through puzzles like the Antikythera Mechanism. All the information we provide comes from verified historical sources, including books, records, and archaeology. Sources: Freeth Tony et al. Decoding the ancient Greek astronomical calculator known as the Antikythera Mechanism. Nature, 2006. Marchant, Joe, Decoding the Heavens, a 2,000-year-old computer and the century-long search to discover its secrets. Random House, 2009. Edmonds, Michael G. The Antikythera Mechanism and the Mechanical Universe. Contemporary Physics, 2014. National Archaeological Museum, Athens. Official exhibit records. And now, if you found this explanation valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Thrones of Knowledge. Also, press the bell icon so you get notified on time. And please suggest our next topic in the comments section to make this learning experience the best it can be.